What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. You don't like it, you can have that seatbelt.
So we are in the year 2025, and we still have a bunch of people falling for PR speak. So as I've discussed before, and as you guys, if you follow me on Twitter, you've seen I've discussed this a lot. Nintendo factored in tariffs, or at least the threat of tariffs, into their pricing of the Switch 2. Today, Doug Bowser has stated that tariffs had nothing to do with the $450 price tag. The tariff news is fresh, and like many companies right now, we are actively assessing what the impact may be. My friends, this is PR speak. They don't want to comment on tariffs. Couple reasons. One, they don't want to get in the middle of a political debate, and also, in case they need to up the price even more, if they say, oh, well, it's because, yeah, we factored the tariffs in, and then they raise it again, people will be like, wait, you raised the Switch 2 price twice? And they're going to whine about that. This is PR speak. If you honestly believe that a multi-billion dollar electronics company that gets parts and manufactures their systems out of multiple countries, if you honestly believe in your brain that Nintendo didn't factor tariffs, something that has been talked about for years and something that has been talked about daily for the last 6 months, if you honestly believe that they didn't factor potential tariffs in mind for an electronic device with components from all over the world for their new system they're going to be selling for the next decade, if you honestly believe they did not factor tariffs into their pricing, you are dumb as hell and very gullible. This is PR speak. The whole reason for them shifting their manufacturing out of China is because tariffs were even being rumored and being placed in China. That was the whole reason for them moving Switch 2 manufacturing to Vietnam. That's the whole reason for that. That's the entire reason for that. People want to pick and choose when they want to believe Nintendo PR. But trust me, this is PR BS personified. But don't take my word for it. What if I knew of some people that actually did this for a living for Nintendo for over a decade? What if there was people that actually used to write this stuff for these Nintendo execs to actually say, and, have expertise on that? I wonder what they got to say about this. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
We finally got some answers from Nintendo this morning about pricing and some other details. We wanted to go through all of these interviews with answers coming out and talk about a couple of things. One, because we worked at Nintendo and used to write these answers for these types of interviews, we want to sort of dissect them and see, are they really saying what they're trying to say, or are they trying to pull some PR jargon in our faces?
Tariffs.
Yes.
So these were kind of happening in the moment.
Yeah, in concert to what they were doing, which was a tough situation for them.
As the interviews were happening.
Yeah.
But Doug Bowser did say that the tariffs were not factored into the $449 price of the Switch 2. And on the topic of delaying the pre-orders, he said, the news is fresh, and like many companies right now, we are actively assessing what the impact may be. the point about the tariff not being baked in, like the fact that a tariff was being discussed, that was not new information.
Right.
Like we knew about that being a possibility for months. So there was some conversation of like, well, did they hedge their bets and bake that into the price, maybe being a little bit higher with the expectation that, hey, this could come or go or could be an impact on us down the road. Sounds like it wasn't.
Sounds like it wasn't, although...
Do you believe that?
I don't believe that.
Do you believe that?
I don't believe that. I was going to say, I feel like this is one of those things where they're trying as much as possible to kind of separate themselves from the drama that is tariffs. There's so many things that they just don't want to touch in terms of any sort of association with
political topics are always just
a no.
It's a stay away.
It's also very like, yes, it has a global impact, but it's also very like US based, and this is a global product. So there's like a thing about like we got to make these messages like very broad.
Well, however, this is, it is something that happens in the U.S., but the U.S. is by far the biggest market for Nintendo.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, well, if you're going to have this priced in the U.S., it's going to become the global price, except for this weird Japan bubble that they have created for that version. So it does actually have some global impacts because you can't have that much variability from region to region. But yeah, I'm like you. I don't totally. I think there could be like, well, not these tariffs, the other tariffs.
There are other ones we were thinking of. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Two people that specialize in Nintendo PR for over a decade are telling you that this response is PR BS. Nintendo just doesn't want to be involved in the drama. But if you still watch this video and you still think that Nintendo really didn't factor tariffs into the pricing of the Nintendo Switch 2, I don't know what to tell you. You can continue to be a gullible moron, and I'll continue being the doctor. Have that seat.